And now we're going to channel Telos. Good morning, good day, wherever you may be. We are Telos. We are a multi-dimensional stream of intelligence, of consciousness, directly from the throne energies themselves, here to help guide, gently guide, to point the way, to help uncover the truth of who you are. Our dear channel's sitting here this morning wondering, oh, what is going to come through? I wonder if, do I need to think of what it is before it comes through? This is the egoic mind again working, and he always notices he'll go through that usually for a few moments, and then he lets go and surrenders. Not just in the channeling, but in so many things in his life now. Just surrenders, and as soon as the surrender comes, everything shows up. That term sweet surrender could never be more true in this case. And in this surrendering, the stream of intelligence, of consciousness, of love that begins to course through his mind, through his system, through his heart, through all of his flesh, his bones, the cells, it all begins to vibrate powerfully. And it feels like Christmas while on spring break, celebrating the 4th of July. It is that good, folks. The real question is here is how good are you willing to stand it? We want to ask you a question here, kind of a segue into what we want to talk about. We want to give you something to contemplate for a moment. What percentage, and we're asking for a guesstimate here, not absolutely accurate, of your energy do you spend just trying to keep things together every day, every hour, every minute, every month, every week, every year? How much of your energy do you spend keeping it together? And what we mean by that is what you probably take for granted as just normal, daily, and even not just daily, but life issues that you have to address, that you have to prop up on a consistent basis. Think about if you weren't working. Maybe some of you are, some of you aren't. But if you didn't have what we refer to as the 9 to 5 to go through every day, what would your day look like? What are the things that are still necessary that you have to prop up daily, even without working? Take money out of the equation for a moment. Pretend that there's enough money for everything. Not an exorbitant amount, but enough for everything. Think about all the energy that goes into just maintaining kind of a zero neutrality balance in your day-to-day life. Think about all the things you have to do. Think about all the things that you own that need maintenance, that need money, resources put into them to maintain them so they don't begin to atrophy or fall apart or rot or whatever it is. Think about even grocery shopping, food that you bring home, food that's wasted, food that you eat. Think about all of it. Think about your whole relationship to your reality. The reality that you've created. I think most of us fall into the default around that. Have you consciously, deliberately created the life that you're living in right now? For most of humanity, it is no. You are living the life that you believe you are here to live. You believe that the world that you are reacting to is something that is outside of yourself, something that you were born into, something that you stepped into, something that is your burden, your joy, your albatross, your bane, your upliftment, your satisfaction, your dissatisfaction, all of it. How much energy do you spend daily just maintaining what you have materially? Think about it. Think about all this energy, life force that is there with you right now that you are spending daily on things that are inanimate objects, things that are not sentient in nature, things that don't have life. You know, it is said that once something is manifested, it's in the past. So all the things that you are living with, all that you've accumulated, and we're not saying anything's wrong with that, but we're wanting to bring your awareness to what's happening. We want you to look at this because what we're looking at here is a precursor to principle one in the Telos invitation. And principle one is that reality is structured. And if reality is structured, therefore there's an intelligence behind it. And are you consciously working with that intelligence, or are you tuned out and just tuned into what mystics, sages, spiritual avatars have been saying since time began, that that is the illusion? Yes, we're here to have this experience in the illusion, but how much of that illusion is robbing you, taking daily a significant amount of your life force and vitality by propping up things that have manifested that live in the past? How much does this drag you into the past? We call this compensating and living in a compensating world. The idea is that the world, the old paradigm here, is fractured. It always was. And now it's beginning to fall apart. Simultaneously, there is a new paradigm, a new platform. We often refer to it as the operating system. Telos is also an acronym for the Enlightened Living Operating System. And this is something that is in each and every one of you. But few of you are actually activating this within you. Instead, you're addicted to the old, the outdated, because you're afraid of losing, because you've been programmed to. It's the nature of the old paradigm. Well, there's a new paradigm showing up where you can reclaim yourself fully if you choose. However, you cannot hang on to the old simultaneously. Now, when you're in the transition phase, which many will be for a period of time, it could be months, it could be years, depending on the individual, depending on their rate of transitioning from the old into the new. Very few people will kind of be doing it voluntarily. There are some that are, but if you're in the old and very addicted to it, you're choosing that. There's no amount of stuff, no amount of money, no amount of accumulation of material things that is worth more than your well-being and vitality, we believe. What do you think? And we're not trying to tell you that it's right or wrong. It's a choice. That old paradigm will never be here again. Our dear channel has known this for a long time. He's known for decades that this is his last time here in that program. And so he wanted to get what he could because he knows he's going to miss certain things. There's certain aspects of it that maybe are a little bit more hedonistic than others would choose, but our dear channel, he's had many, many experiences through many, many memes of experience in the old. And one of the beautiful things about the old is, in many ways, some of the hedonist qualities that allowed you to kind of bask and revel in, because that was maybe the height of that old paradigm. Well, things are changing. Things are changing rapidly and quickly, and there's new energy coming in that's going to allow you to reorganize your life, your universe around sets of principles that will enable you to regain that vitality, that youthful life force, no matter what your age. And it's done gently, it's done with baby steps. It does not need to be a huge jolt to the system. As a matter of fact, the way Telos works is you get a little taste of it and then you want more. You get a little taste of it, then you want more. It becomes almost like a nectar you can't live without. Because as you start incorporating this energy, the Telos, into the system, into the physical body, all you want is more. More of a good thing, more of this well being that is you. Because Telos is you, each and every one of you. It is the blueprint that is in your DNA. It is in your access to what we refer to as the universal current. We're going to make a statement here that is going to shock our channel as well, because we have not said anything like this before. But when you open up into the universal current and allow it to flow freely through your system, you begin to heal. You begin to heal in ways that previously humanity had no idea they could heal. You become more or less the commander of your well-being. You can begin to direct the universal current once you understand it and let it flow through you to anywhere you might feel blockages in your life, whether it be physical health issues, whether it be financial issues, relationship issues, abundance, resource, money, financial issues. The thing about the Telos platform is when you're standing on it, your capacity increases, we'll say at least tenfold. Your ability to hold more with ease and grace. Things come in harmonically. There's a lot of disharmonic, chaotic energy in the old platform. Notice how you're always propping up. There's almost always a band-aid for something. In a lot of ways, you could say this is where humankind has split with the alignment and the true geometry of source. Just the way, for instance, homes are built, houses are physically built on the land on your planet, speaks of disharmony in such a large way, it's just ridiculous that this is going on. Think about all of the components that go into a house. How much of them are man-made that actually cut against the natural flow of energy? And it doesn't have to be this way. As a matter of fact, taking housing, for instance, could be done in a much more cohesive way, cohesive with the environment, harmonic with the human way of life and well-being. And humanity will eventually get there if they make it through this bottleneck that they're going through right now. And we believe humanity will. Depends on humanity how easily they want to slide through the bottleneck that's occurring at this time, moving from the old into the new. And how many humans are clinging tightly to the past. Fear, greed, obsession with material outcomes. Where did your connection to the source of who you are go? Well, it didn't go anywhere. It's still there inside of you. But chances are, through your beliefs, through your conditioning, you have created resistance to it. And the Telos proposition here, the Telos invitation is, why not come back to it? There's more resources in that alignment than anything you could possibly imagine in the old world. So we invite you to not take our word for it, but to begin to open to it yourself. Just by even listening to these channelings is an opportunity to tune into the bandwidth that is there. The Telos is not adding anything new. It's actually the opposite. It's a bit of an unwinding. Some might call it the sacred unwinding of what was. It's a clearing, but not clearing in the way that we used to clear in the old paradigm. Our dear channel's done decades of that work with clients, which was appropriate for then. Now it's different. Our channel is now standing fully in the new. As a matter of fact, when he falls back into the old, which still happens slightly on occasion, it feels terrible. It doesn't feel good. It feels so disharmonic, chaotic. And the thing about an individual who begins to live into their telos is the level of mastery. It's all about mastery on a deep level. It's about walking in what you might call enlightenment in day-to-day life. In the past, if you were to become enlightened, you had to move out of society. You had to go up to that cave in the Himalayas, in the ashram. You had to go live in the woods or something like this because you change so drastically from what society was. You couldn't be in it, and society couldn't deal with the enlightened being either. Well, this has changed. We're in a time of ascension now, and there's a distinction here. And in ascension, it's more or less living the enlightened life in a secular way. So you're living as a normal human would, but in an enlightened fashion. And as you begin to take on this Telos and reach certain levels of mastery, what happens is you hold that invitation to everything in your life. And this is where we come back to the first principle, that principle one, reality is structured. There's intelligence there. And this intelligence is also a similar intelligence that runs through you. And that intelligence is affected by your inner life, your inner workings, your inner technology, you see. So where in your life do you believe you don't create your reality? Now, we're not talking in the same way that we did in the old paradigm about like law of attraction and manifestation techniques. Those were precursors to what we're talking about here. This is more, let's say, comprehensive. In the old, there was more separation between you and the thing that you were creating. In this new paradigm, and you're going to hear it from other people besides just us, Telos here, this is something that others are starting to glean as well. So listen to that new, fresh energy coming through coaches or healers or channels like what you hear here. You'll feel a freshness, a newness, like a tingling, a buzziness that will tell you, oh yeah, that's what I want. That's the direction to go in. And there's going to be a lot in the old paradigm talking about similar things as if they're using the same words, but literally they're two different things. The question is do you have the discernment to understand the distinctions? And only your inner compass can understand this. You need to create that distinction, that discernment gauge in you to be able to tell. I'll tell you why. Because we are stepping into new energy. We are building on a brand new platform. Think about how exciting that is. True masters who are standing in their telos get very excited about this, and you'll feel it in them. It's contagious. And it's like a sky's the limit. The limitations have been taken off. You know, one of the things about the telos is that it flows through. It's like this energy that cascades down through your non-physical DNA. There's DNA that's non-physical that cascades down through the non-physical DNA into your physical manifest self. Okay? And as it comes down, as you open, it opens these channels more. Now, the human DNA is multidimensional. And in certain ways, the old paradigm, there was almost a repression on the DNA itself, like a wet blanket. It kept it limited in expression. Some people broke through this. They had maybe what we call spiritual awakenings, like our dear channel did through a Kundalini event. And then your gifts start to open. Your inner sight, clairvoyance, clairaudience begin to hear from the other dimensions. Be able to see, clear sight, clairvoyance is French for clear seeing, voyance to view, voyeur. Healing abilities. Almost everybody has healing hands. Our dear channel has done so many workshops where people's hands get activated for healing. Anybody can do this, really, if you choose it. It's locked in your DNA, but your belief system has told you differently, you see. Now, we're not saying that this is the fountain of youth and that you channel this universal current and you'll live forever. No, we're not saying that at all. But what we are saying is, yes, it can improve the quality of your life. And if it improves the quality of your life, it will probably increase your longevity if that is something that you want. It's interesting, most people don't really want long lives because life is hard and they get worn out. It depends on the individual, but that's one of the main reasons people die at the age that they die. But what if you changed that program? What if you began to live from a different place? What if you began to shun some of the limited beliefs that most of society share? That whole system is beginning to crumble. You get to see the corruptness in it all, the things that aren't working, they're falling apart. But it's us, the human being in the telos energy, that is going to create the new. And you do that by standing on the platform yourself. And as soon as you have the experience, you start to feel it. You literally feel the ground beneath your feet holding you in a different way. You feel that grid, that platform going through your whole body because it is through humanity that the new is born. There is no outside new world that's going to form on its own. It is up to humanity and those willing to stand in that and come together and create the new. That's it. We are Telos. We are Telos, and we love you so, 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 so much. We are thrilled to be watching this Ascension Cycle occurring at this time on the planet. And remember, principle one is reality is structured. There's intelligence behind the design. The same intelligence that's created you, the same intelligence that flows through the universal current. And it's for you to tap into. Lord, tell us, and we bid you farewell for now. We shall soon return and be with you again. Goodbye.